Kevin Durant was on his podcast, The Etceteras, and he was talking about LeBron James' son, Bronny James, who has become a great high school basketball player, McDonald's All-American, and looks like he's going to join his dad if his dad remains in the NBA at some point. But anyway, KD was talking about Bronny and whether he should go to college or to maybe, the G League or uh, overtime elite or any of these minor leagues that now are getting some of the top players. And here's what he said.
There's still some amazing talent in college right now with so many different routes, the OTs, going overseas, going to Australia, all of that stuff is cool, but still going to college, I feel like that's a great route because it's still on a big stage. You still got to show who you are on that big stage, and the tournament is still a huge thing.
I think we're going to see Bronny in college. I'm excited to see that.
I would love to see Bronny in college instead of going the other route.
Disappearing for a year.
Yeah, disappearing basically. That's really what it is. I want to see Bronny. I want to be in real time, see what he's doing, and follow his journey. But yeah, because when you go to OT and Ignite, and you just go away for a year.
Yeah, I mean that sounds good. I doubt that that's going to be the route. I'm not sure because
what.
Going to college for sure. Is that? I know that he's been recruited.
Yeah, he can't go straight to the NBA.
Right. I know, but I'm saying, but he could go to one of these other things and make money right off the bat, right? If he's
the one thing Bronny James don't need is money.
No, I'm just saying, but he still has his own life though. At some point,
I haven't heard any. Rob G, has there been any indication that he might go to one of these other leagues? I haven't heard anything.
Not as of yet, but at the same time, there's not even an official finalist for colleges that he's been. All of the colleges that are being reported
talked about
are guesses according to all these websites. They say, hey, we think that it's these three teams.
LeBron and their family's not going to be saying anything.
No. But doesn't he want to go? I mean, I'm just saying.
It seems like Ohio State was.
That's what I was just going to mention.
Yeah.
Ohio State, that might be a place playing the Big Ten. But yeah, I mean. I hear Kevin Durant sounds like being sentimental and that kind of thing. And I know he played at Texas.
Texas, yeah.
So yeah, for him, but a lot of other people just haven't gone that route. And I don't know if college has the same weight. I mean, sure, if you want to go for experience for 6 months and go on campus and do that, or do you just feel like if you're good enough, you don't have to do it? It all depends on you. And because you're not trying to stay there longer than 1 year or one season. So I'm going to guess and say that he does not do it ultimately.
Really? So you think he'll go to G League or overtime elite or something like that? I think, first of all, let's clear this up, because one thing KD and his co-host said was that if Bronny went to one of these leagues, Rob, that he would disappear for a year. I don't think so. He's LeBron James's son. Do you, Rob? I think if he went to the G League or overtime elite, that his stuff, now it wouldn't be the same, attention that you might get from college, but I think he would get tons of attention.
No, I think so, because there are people, Chris. There's two factions. Is he going to do well, and is he going to stumble? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There are eyes who will want to see what he's doing. And so I'm with you. I don't think it would be like
that's not an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I do, it's easy for me to say, but I feel like if I were in his shoes, I probably would go to college, because we went through college, Rob, 4 years. I think the college experience is fantastic. And
I love college,
I know his
but his
college
dad didn't go to college.
would be right. Well, but he can't go straight to the NBA. I'm sure if he could have went to the NBA, he would have went to the NBA. Bronny, I'm talking about. That's not an option for him. And I know his college, he'll only be there for a year, presumably, assuming he does well. But you can have a lot of fun in a year. And his college experience will be different than most people's, including ours, because he'll be an elite athlete and he'll be, you know what I mean? Like, it's more structured around him with the basketball program and all that. But you still, to some degree, can be a student and have fun and just be with your friends and people, meet new people on campus. Those are great experiences. And I also think they're not essential for the socialization process, but it can help some people. And so I would those are some of the things I would talk to Bronny about if I were like LeBron, and LeBron didn't experience that himself. But Rob, here's the thing, like what he's got, some of the things he's got to weigh. If you go to Overtime Elite or the G League or something like that, you can work on your game constantly. You don't have the interference of class. You're not graduating anyway. You're not only going there for a year.
You're just going there.
And not even maybe that, right? You might be in class for 4 months and then, stop going, as a lot of players do that know they're one and done. So you don't have that distraction. You can, in the NCAA, there's a limit, Rob, to how much you can work, right, with your coach. You don't have that issue. You can work constantly on your game. And I think the coaches, now the games are somewhat similar, college and pro, but Rob, the coaches in these other leagues, I do think they're coaching you in a way that is more similar. They're coaching you in a game that's more similar to the NBA style. Like they're coaching you right instead of just winning the national championship and doing it the coach's way. That's not really an issue in those leagues because they're trying to prepare you for the NBA versus winning some type of championship.
See, yeah, and that's the other thing. What are you really trying to do? College basketball, to me, Chris, is overcoached and over-officiated. You know what I mean? You got to do what if you're coming here, you got to do what I want you to do.
These legendary coaches.
Yeah, that's what they want you to do no matter what. So that's something you have to deal with. I think getting the coaching to get to the next level is important. And, I would be surprised if he goes to Ohio. Ohio State's no college basketball powerhouse anymore.
No, that would be interesting. And Rob, and look,
Dennis Hopson was a high pick, Chris, from Ohio State.
And didn't get anything done. Jim Jackson
did win a championship.
Was their best player.
Jim Jackson too.
If I'm remembering correctly, Michael Redd came out. Michael Redd probably was the best player out of Ohio State in decades. And Jim Jackson was better in college and started out his pro career in tremendous fashion, but then got hurt and, still had a long, successful career, but didn't become the superstar people thought he would, in large part because of that injury to his ankle. But here's the downside though, Rob. And look, if you go to college or the G League or whatever and don't play well, it's going to hurt you, right? But I think, Rob, you have a better chance of playing well in college than in the G League. Now, there's talk now that this kid, obviously Victor Wembanyama, is going to be the Gesundheit. I'm surprised you didn't say that.
I know. I was waiting on it.
Victor Wembanyama
Gesundheit.
From France, the 7'3", 7'4". They're saying now, I think they're saying he's 7'5" or whatever. But, he's going to be the number one pick. And Scoot Henderson, point guard, who went to the G League, has been presumed to be the second pick. And he's a great player for his age. But there's now talk, Rob, that Brandon Miller from Alabama has surpassed him in many GM's eyes.
Really?
And will be the second pick. Yeah, Scoot will be third. Because, Rob, this is the truth. When you go to the G League, you playing against men, grown men. Like dudes that are, they are fully grown and they are playing for their livelihood. And they see a young kid with a big name and they know I can make my name off this kid. If I outplay Bronny James, if I outplay Scoot Henderson, I can, get some of these scouts to look at me. And
if he struggles in college, though, how much does that hurt?
I think it hurts either way. Right. My point, though, is that I think you have more of a chance of struggling or even if maybe struggling is too strong.
Yeah,
but
you know what I mean.
Playing
not
great,
struggle,
right? Not playing great, not being dominant, not looking like some superstar. I think you have a better chance of doing that in the G League than you do in college. Because college, you're still playing against guys your age.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a risk. The G League, right? You know this, right? They got some ballers. People will try to mock it. Oh, they can. No, those dudes can play. And again, they're grown. They're not 18. They're not 19. Their bodies are filled out. And again, they're playing to put food on the table. So that's something you got to watch out for too.
Real quick, you mentioned Michael Redd at Ohio State. They have a list of the top 50 basketball players
Ever?
at Ohio State. Michael Redd is number 7. You ready? The list?
Yeah. I bet he got to go way back to get 6 of them ahead of him.
Yeah.
Jim Jackson probably ahead of him.
Jerry Lucas was number 1.
Right. 60.
Okay. Dennis Hobson was number 2. You know he's all-time leading scorer.
Okay, so they're not going on pro performance.
No. This is just like who played for Ohio State.
Right.
Who's the best.
Jerry
Herb
Lucas
Williams
would be number 1.
You remember Herb Williams for the Knicks?
Yep,
Who played.
yep.
Herb Williams was 3. Kelvin Ramsey was 4. Evan Turner, Chris, who had a good career at Ohio State. Evan Turner was 5. And number 6 was John Havlicek. Then came Michael Redd. And then came Jim Jackson. So Jim Jackson was 8. Michael Redd was 7.
All right, here's what I'll say. The best of that bunch is obviously John Havlicek.
John Havlicek.
If we're talking about NBA, second best would be Jerry Lucas. And I think third is Michael Redd. And then fourth is Jim Jackson. Would you disagree?
Yeah. No, probably. Yeah.
I mean, but if they just going by Ohio State career, I get it.
Yeah. And I think Dennis is the all-time leading scorer, so I see why he's second.
Right. I get that. But to your point, that's not a powerhouse. And Rob, that's the thing too. I mean, you can look at this so many ways. If you go to a powerhouse, and your numbers might not be as good because your teammates are better, right? You can go to Ohio State and you'll be the show and your numbers will be huge. Or you go to a powerhouse, your numbers might not be as good, but they're good. They're solid, 15 points a game, whatever. You're the leading scorer, second leading scorer. You get to the Final Four, right? You're on national TV every weekend, and you look good because of that. Or you go to a lesser program where you're the show, and maybe you can't be the show. Right. Maybe you struggle as the show, right? So there's a lot for him to weigh. I like I said, for various reasons, I kind of like the college route. But I'm not going.
But you would understand if he didn't go because it's just not.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Totally understand, no doubt. All right, 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in. Should Bronny James go to college or go to semi-pro route, which a lot of top young players are doing now? G League, Overtime Elite, et cetera, et cetera.